Once upon a time, there lived a man named 𝗙𝗪𝗪 who washed clothes for a living. One fine day, as he was washing clothes at a nearby pond, he spotted a very beautiful lady named 𝗪𝗪, who also happened to be the daughter of another washerman. He instantly fell in love with her and wanted to get married to her right away. He went to her parents and pleaded them to give him her hand in marriage. Her parents agreed and got them married in a few days. She then went on to live with 𝗙𝗪𝗪 in his house. Several months passed by. 𝗙𝗪𝗪 and 𝗪𝗪 were living happily. She even helped him at his work. One day, 𝗪𝗪's brother came home to pay them a visit and to invite the newlyweds for the festival. 𝗙𝗪𝗪 humbly accepted his brother-in-law's invitation and they decided to leave for 𝗙𝗪𝗪's in-laws' house the next day. As decided, the next day all three of them set on the journey to 𝗪𝗪's parents' house. On the way, they happened to pass one of the most famous temples of goddess Durga Devi. 𝗪𝗪's brother wanted to pay a visit to the goddess, so he went into the temple while 𝗪𝗪 and 𝗙𝗪𝗪 waited for him outside. 𝗪𝗪's brother was extremely happy as he wanted to visit the temple for a very long time now. But as he approached the idol of goddess Durga, he felt a strong urge to pay a mighty sacrifice to the goddess. Now, he thought that there was no greater sacrifice than giving his own life to the goddess, and so he found a sharp knife beside the goddess idol and he cut his head and paid his sacrifice. On the other hand, 𝗪𝗪 and 𝗙𝗪𝗪 were still outside waiting for 𝗪𝗪's brother. But he wouldn't return. 𝗪𝗪 was getting worried and sent 𝗙𝗪𝗪 to check on her brother. When 𝗙𝗪𝗪 went inside the temple, he found his brother-in-law's dead body. Instead of shouting out loud or panicking, 𝗙𝗪𝗪 too was moved with immense devotion of goddess Durga and went to sacrifice his life too. And so he did the same as his brother-in-law and chopped his head off. 𝗪𝗪 kept waiting outside for both her husband and brother. Time passed by, minutes into hours, and she grew more worried with each passing minute. Now she had enough of waiting and she decided herself to go into the temple and check for them. When she went in, she found both her husband and brother dead. She cried hysterically and found it futile to live without her husband or her brother and decided to give her own life too. But just then, goddess Durga appeared to her and stopped her from taking her life. Instead, goddess Durga offered to bring 𝗪𝗪's husband and brother back to life. Upon hearing this, 𝗪𝗪 was ecstatic and extremely happy about getting both her husband and brother back to life. But in order to get them back to life, goddess Durga asked 𝗪𝗪 to join back their heads to their bodies. Now, at this point, 𝗪𝗪 was extremely happy about getting what she wanted the most, her loving brother and her most loving husband. And in her excitement, she ended up mixing her brother and her husband's head and attached them to the wrong bodies. She was perplexed to see what she had done in a hurry. Now, at this point, the Betal stops and asks King Vikram, So tell me, O king, who according to you will Lata consider as her husband?" After carefully thinking, King Vikram replied, saying, "Lata must consider the body that carries her husband's head as her husband, because the head is the most important part of the human body, and the rest of the body is identified by the head." As soon as Vikram said this, the Betal, as usual, was cunning, and he ran off to the nearest tree and sent Vikram running after him.